is a dynamic leader and advocate for inclusivity in sports and society. A chartered accountant by profession, Sunil founded NGO Asta after a transformative training program conducted by Landmark Breakthrough Technologies. He has also pioneered initiatives like the Indian Wheelchair Tennis Tour. Under his leadership, IWTT has grown significantly, promoting wheelchair tennis across India. ತಾವೇ ಸ್ವತಃ ಚಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋಂತಹ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಜೈನ್ ಅವರು ಆಸ್ಥಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸೋಣ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್.
Thank you so much. Good morning everyone. Thank you so much personally to Diana. Our association is about a decade old. When there was a similar conclave about a decade before, that's where I met her. And we have been in touch, and it has been very enriching association to say. We are talking about learning in a outside classroom setup where there are limited resources. Now, right now, what I am dealing with is a limited resource of my energy. I've got fever, so bear with me. I also believe that energy is a function of people listening to me. So I hope you will provide a generous listening. So where do I begin? Madam was speaking earlier. Learning happens in the experiences. Now whether you take the experiences to kid or kid go to the experience, that's the structural issue I would say, right? But at the core of it, experiences what that matters. And literacy or any imparting of information can facilitate my engagement in that activity or in that setup. Now, if you ask me, what is the one reason, if I were to ask a question, what is the one reason which led me where I am today, I will not be able to answer. Really. So, the pursuit of having an inclusive society is much beyond policy, law, finances, collaboration, cooperation. It's much beyond it. It's individual who thrives through experiences. What I believe is engagement. Engagement leads to expression. Expression leads to evolution. And somewhere we have lost the key that orientation has become about success than being people evolving. I studied in Kannada medium in a government school till 4th standard, and our school had only one door, 4 classrooms. 4 classrooms were divided by 2 boards, each board for 2 classes. So I would not know whether I'm in a 1st standard or 4th standard. Like I will be sometimes listening to the teacher 1st standard, 3rd standard, 2nd standard, or 1st standard. I don't know. But that's how my 1st to 4th standard went. And till I completed my 10th, I changed 5 schools for various reasons. One of the biggest reasons was my attendance was very low. My mother and my family, especially my father who is no more now, was very, very emphatic that you should walk. So whole focus was on correcting my disability. And at the age of 15, 17, somewhere I realized that that's not what I want. I'm okay. And that was a little fight with the environment saying, and it can be pursued an arrogance also, right? Disrespectful also. But I had to stand by the choices I made. That I said, no, treatment is enough. At the age of 19, I said, enough is enough. I'm not going to any more surgeries, any more physiotherapies, any more massages. I want to study. So I didn't do graduation. After my PUC, I did PUC in science. Because of the difficulties in labs, chemistry labs or physics labs, I thought I should be a little smart and practical. That was a constraint according to me. Being smart and practical was a limitation for me. I really wanted to explore science, but I was constrained to shift the field, so I shifted to CA. So I did my foundation, completed CA, and when it became about employment, there was another challenge. People would not hire me. I will never say people discriminated. I don't believe any human being discriminates about anyone. I don't believe that, really. There may be some concern within the contextual setup, right? There may be things to be worked out. But if you ask me, did people discriminate? No. Maybe it was my inability or the structural inability to create that association in that moment. It doesn't come from discrimination attitude. I truly believe that, and I practice that. Now, after becoming chartered accountant, now why I'm sharing this journey very briefly is, you want to really put a hand or your mind to what is learning, what is education at the fundamental, right? If I'm not knowing about myself, if I'm not dealing with the barriers, and barriers are limitation, right? We talk about resource limitation. I don't think that should be an issue to begin with. There's an opportunity for your engagement to provide leadership, create collaboration, and see how the available resources can be equitably distributed for everybody's well-being. There was a hunger project decades ago. There was a study done. The study says there is enough food on the planet Earth. If that's the fact, why people die because of malnutrition? And tell me one country that is standing for eradicating hunger. We want to become a trillion dollar company or a country, whatever, right? So the game of being one doesn't inspire me. It's okay not to be one, number one. What matters is expression. So all this, when at the age of 32, when I had a question in front of me, what should I do next? Should I continue being a chartered accountant, start practicing, go to the next level? My interest was in law, tax laws. I wanted to appear for clients in the court, but again, structural challenges. Courts on the second floor, first floor. I caught one case, argued, won the case, but it has become very, very difficult to manage. Hearings are there tomorrow. Today, the person who assists me would say, sir, I'm not coming tomorrow. I have XYZ reason. Right? So how will you deal with it in a professional setup? What do you learn there? What learning will help you there? I don't know. So I stopped for a while, and then I looked at what is this challenge of disability. There's so much noise about inclusivity. What is this all inclusivity about? This is where I realized. I flipped my eyeballs inside. I asked, is it my challenge or is it my mother's challenge? Is it my challenge or it is my teacher's challenge? Is it my challenge or was it my brother's, sister's challenge, my friend's challenge? I saw a whole new world in that perspective. So I said, if I am in an environment, if the environment can be enabled to participate with me, when I say me, I represent lakhs and lakhs of people with the various disability. If we can have an environment where people can engage, participate, and everybody has the desire to contribute. So what if he's disabled person? Everybody has. Every human, that's the inherent nature of being that you want to contribute. But the whole perception when we talk about inclusivity, there's a power play. The very word inclusion says there is somebody who will include you. Right? So, yesterday I was listening about top to bottom approach, bottom to top approach. I don't know. Can it be circular is what I'm thinking. I really don't know. Where do we begin? So at the age of 32, I decided that what will really make a difference is physical engagement, experiences. So we chose sports. I personally participated in a National Para Athletic Championship in 2016. Classification is a mess in India. I don't know how many of you understand classification in para sport. Classification is a scientific process to put the athletes on an equal level playing field. And today, the assessment happens through eyes like this. You will see like this, Nina, you're 52. Nina, you're 51. Literally. That's what has happening in India. Classification. We may get lost in the glory of medals. But sport has such a powerful mechanism to empower people. We are losing on that opportunity. So we are about not medals. Medals is a journey to excellence if somebody chooses, but we are about physical activity, physical engagement, adaptation to the current environment, and we take wheelchair tennis as the medium. And we truly believe this will not work unless otherwise there is a 360-degree approach. So I don't believe in top to down or bottom to top. It is a 360-degree approach. Every stakeholder has a role to play. So in 2016 when we started, there was already an association. So I want to correct the introduction. I am not any president of any association. I am not president of any recognized association. It's a voluntary initiative of a trust. So in 2016 when we started studying, we saw there is already an organization that was claiming to be a National Federation of Para Wheelchair Tennis. So I have my chartered accountant in mind. Constitutionally I am very strong. I can claim that. I have studied. I have been intern after doing CA for 3 years. It was a senior advocate today. So law, I can speak, I can read, I can understand, I can navigate. So for me, this federation was not required. All India Tennis Association, which is the parent body for tennis, is the national member of the International Federation. Is the organization recognized by the Ministry of Sports. Then what is this parallel federation doing? That was my first question. So within 1 year, we had to literally, if I may use the word, defund that organization. Not many liked it, but so be it. What is required is what is required in an ecosystem. Then the other challenge was demanding the federation to do the required work. And the first thing we demanded was put the ranking system in place. Wheelchair tennis has been in India since 2005. But since till 2016, there was not a domestic ranking system. There were no regular tournaments. Tournaments used to happen once in 2-3 years for a cash prize of about 50,000, which means 50,000 is distributed among 30, at that time 20 to 30 players were there. So entire cash prize will be distributed among these 20-30 players. So we said we want to first to do is create a structure for tournament, and it took us 1 year of literal communication battle with the All India Tennis Association. We had the ranking system in place. We created tournament structure. Since 2016, so far we have conducted 12 All India Tennis ranked tournament, 6 in Bangalore, 3 in Chennai, 2 in Hyderabad, 1 in Mumbai, and right now we are working on creating one tournament in Ahmedabad. Not only tournament, we work on the grassroots level. We create programs for introducing people with a disability to the sport. There were no kids participating. Today 22 kids are there. And competitiveness at the world ranking. Today the top player in India, women player, I'm very happy to say, she is at 150. We are working on she breaking to 100 within March. Right? So the point of me saying this too is we have a 360-degree approach. What are the systemic changes that had accomplished in last 5-6 years is All India Tennis Association Constitution. Definition of tennis didn't include wheelchair tennis. Today it has wheelchair tennis as a part of its definition. That to me is a big accomplishment. There wasn't a committee for wheelchair tennis. Though it is not functional, they are just pleasing me to have some 5 people. I'm aware of that because their action doesn't communicate that it really is serious about being playful in the country. So I mean, that's another challenge, but the fact of the matter is there is a committee. Now, I want to talk a little bit about cooperation, collaboration, right? So I for some reason have learned that collaboration cannot be about being nice. Demand. When there is a mandate on All India Tennis Association to take care of the sport, in the name of collaboration, you cannot be pleasing. You want to ask appropriate questions. Demand for policy changes, demand for master plans, demand for long-term development plan. And these questions are not well taken. That's the whole issue. These questions are not well taken, but we want to keep asking this question. We are committed that in next 1.5-2 years, India shall have at least 30 tournaments a year. To me, which is not a rocket science. Every state association, if they conducted 1 tournament, that's more than 30 tournaments, which is easy. To my mind, easy. It is about how we navigate this whole ecosystem, provide leadership, listen to the concern, connect the dots. So that's the work we want to do. We don't say we are leader of this work. We say we are orchestras, or we orchestrate everybody's efforts and endeavors to ensure that wheelchair tennis can be used as a tool of engagement for people with a disability, and also can be one of the access for people accessing excellence, right? The last thing, how does one generate ability? Madam was speaking, what leads to ability? I have come to believe and understand and learn, if I am aspiring for something based on my current resources, whether it is limited or abundance, doesn't matter. But if my aspiration, my goals are dependent upon the resources, then I don't give myself an opportunity to excel and evolve. You have an aspiration that is beyond your current limitation. That will lead you to discover abilities that you will be surprised by. That will lead you discover people's greatness that you would have never thought about. So I truly believe having an aspiration is the key, whether at an individual level, at the organization level, society level, state level, country level. So we can use, all the state laws, central law, organizational structure, policy, they all can be a facilitator. But the foundation of it, having a goal, is the key according to me. And with the limited resources that we have, just on the National Sports Day this year, we declared that India shall have its first wheelchair tennis development hub in Bangalore. I am very scared to even say this, but I will go ahead and say, by next National Sports Day, the center will be up and running. And we don't have the kind of resources we need at this point in time, but as I said, I truly, truly believe in people. For me, people's listening is extraordinary. Everybody wants to engage in a meaningful objective. With that, last but not the least, I would want to share one message, if I'm allowed, to the parents and teachers, and maybe my brothers and sisters who have some form of bodily disability. We are all very significant about being independent. We don't have to be. It's a myth. There isn't anybody who is independent. Really. If you really look at from the world view, there isn't anybody who is independent. So it's okay. Your limitations are okay. Have an aspiration. I was sleeping last night and there was a question yesterday here by two teachers. Like, there is a bedridden student at home. How do I take him or her to school? So I was thinking, why don't you bring school to home? Get all the 5-6 kids in the school, teacher, come. But fundamental level, do you have a goal for the kid is the question you need to ask. Did you have a conversation with the kid and the parent that next 3 months, this is our developmental goal? Then you facilitate that goal. But if you get consumed in just going to school, coming back to school, doing some activity, it has some limitation is what I believe. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Look forward for more engagement and conversations. So I seriously want India to be playful. Thank you.